Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University, and the hunt for Wolverine Adamantium Agenda, issue number 1 of 4. Okay, now I'm going to give full spoilers for this comic book because it's in issue 1 and you got to be able to read all of these. Okay, so we start off with a small team of, well, basically the guys on the cover, and they, plus Wolverine. And there's some bomb, and there's this agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. who's sitting there trying to defuse a bomb, but she's like, yeah, listen, there's no way this is going to happen. So it's going to blow up in 1,000,000 miles this way if we just wait for it, and there's like 2 minutes left. Or it'll only blow up like, I don't know, 20 feet, whatever it is. Somebody's got to be really close to it. An actual bioelectrical signal has to be able to turn the thing off. So no shooting a web and pulling it from a mile across the street or something like that. No, you actually have to be right there. A human being does it. So it's really down to Luke Cage or Wolverine, right? But Wolverine says, listen, you may be invulnerable, but you don't heal that fast. So we don't know what this thing's going to do. It might release poison. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea what this thing's going to do. So don't be stupid. So, just you go away, Luke Cage. I'll stay. That's what Wolverine says. And it's awesome because Jessica Jones is there and she says, Logan, thank you. And I thought, dude, that is awesome because, yes, she's Jessica Jones is very down to business. You know what I'm saying? She's going to say exactly what's on her heart. She's not going to sit here and be like, oh, but you have, no, she knows. She doesn't want Luke to die. And she's pretty darn sure that Wolverine's going to get out of it. It's just, it's going to hurt a lot. Spider-Man even says so. Logan's like, yeah, I know. And everybody essentially made a promise to him because he was willing to take all of that just to, to face off what was going to happen. Now, the interesting thing is when this thing does blow up and it looks like it releases poison, electricity, and all sorts of crazy things besides a regular explosion. Wolverine looks inside of the thing as it's about to open, and he's like, oh, you're going to have some explaining to do, you son of a... And then, boom, it blows up. So I'm imagining this has something to do with Tony Stark, because it's always got something to do with Tony Stark. Let's just stop fooling ourselves, all right? This guy's on the precipice of being a bad guy all the time. So, anyway, sometime, years in the future, they're trying to go to a a super villain black market. And the word on the street, according to Tony Stark, because he's got his ear to the ground, is that there's going to be a superhero's entire genome available for people to buy. Now, that's especially interesting because Wolverine's body just disappeared. So they're all assuming it's got to be Wolverine's genome. So if that's the case, his, deoxyribonucleic acid, the DNA sequence. So they're like, okay, so we'll go there. We'll get the sequence, make sure it doesn't fall in anybody else's hands, and we'll find out who the bad guy is who did it. We'll round up as many people as we possibly can and put the whooping on them all. So they get there, and they're trying to say one person at a time. Everybody's got to wear a mask. And it's funny that Luke Cage is wearing an Ogun mask. That's actually funny. Go check out Kitty Pryde Wolverine for that interesting little tidbit of information. But they're trying to bring Luke Cage to go and see it first, but he's like, yeah, hold on. And Tony Stark says, it looks like Tony Stark is going to go in his stead. And that's kind of a good idea, because it turns out that it's not actually Wolverine's. Here comes the huge spoiler. It's not actually Wolverine's genome that they're putting on display. Rather, it's Danielle Cage's. So it's Luke Cage and Jessica Jones's daughter. So, can you imagine if Luke was there and saw that? Like, he's a hothead. Jessica Jones is even worse. You know what I'm saying? With both of them, they're hotheads that are way too strong. That's just going to, charge forward and start kicking some booty. They're not going to be able to find out what's going on. So Tony Stark is there instead, and he's going to be a little bit more intelligent about it. Hopefully, Spider-Man back in that room is able to have a conversation with these two knuckleheads. He is technically stronger than both of them. Is he smart enough to use that intelligently? Anyway, he's going to have to calm these two down because they are like a half mile underwater and none of them are able to breathe water. So, yeah, they got to be really careful with what's about to happen here. This is sick. This is awesome. And it just suddenly got made personal. So I'm loving this. I'm imagining that next week, Hunt for Wolverine Claws of a Killer is going to be released, and that's going to be the... the Weapon X looking team, all the people with claws. So Sabretooth, Dakin, Lady Deathstrike, Yeah, sharp, pointy, cutty people. Anyway, I'm going to give this comic book a B+. This was really good, all right? And I'm especially talking about that ending. That was a shock. Like, dude, they just talked about they got a babysitter for Danielle, and all of a sudden, oh, by the way, hacha. So anyways, yeah, that's it. All right, guys. Yeah, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.